Good morning, folks. Hi, Phil McPhail here. Welcome back to United Country Lifestyle Properties in Maine YouTube channel. Today we're going to revisit a property that we filmed last winter at a different price today. So we'll share a new price with you at towards the end of the video. But I want to bring you back here in the summertime. Things look a little different out here with the leaves on, no snow on the ground. What I've got here to show you today is this cabin back here in the woods on 550 acres of forest land. We've got a stream that runs through the property. We've got lots of privacy here. We're about a half-mile in off of on a private road into this. So the driveway is literally about 2,000 feet long. So come along with me. We're going to take a look at the cabin and the improvements here, a little bit of the land, and we'll get you the new price at the end of the video. Let's go on in the cabin first. We'll take a look at that. This cabin is it's set on concrete blocks on the ground. There's no foundation under it. It does have this covered porch here, not screened in. The cabin itself is about 416 square feet. Come on in and take a look around. What we've got here is an open living space, kitchen, dining area here in the corner, living space. We've got a 3/4 bath, or a full bath by today's standards, shower, sink, and flush over here. We got some hickory cabinets, and we do have one private bedroom here in the back of the cabin. Enough room in here for a couple of twin beds. You could get a king or a queen in here if you wanted to. A little bit of place to hang your clothes, but it's a very simple cabin. It is insulated. It does have some decent windows in place. We do have a little bit of a loft for storage and maybe possible extra sleeping area. We'll show you that in a second. So here in the front of the cabin, we do have a pull down ladder. We'll let you go on up and take a look at the loft space for extra sleeping. You'll notice we do have a unique gas refrigerator and a unique gas range. That's a 4-burner range with an oven. There's a propane heater in here, direct no vent heater. We do have electric, and that power is by a generator. We're going to show you the big diesel generator out back that powers this cabin and can probably power 2 more. So let's go take a look around the outside of the cabin. So also included with this property is a fairly new 20-foot shipping container, grid for storage. There's some shelving in here. If you put a ramp in here, you could probably park a couple of ATVs. This is a 20-footer. You probably get 2 or 3 snowmobiles, 2 or 3 ATVs in here, no trouble. You'll notice that the cabin itself has got wood siding and a metal roof. And like I said, it's sitting on concrete blocks on the ground. We have a drilled well right here next to the cabin. In this well drilling, drilled the well. And over here, we've got the area where your power comes into the cabin, as well as your water from the well. There's a pressure tank in here. We've got the power disconnect. Everything's right here inside this little shed that's attached to the back of the cabin. And over here, we've got hopefully that bird found his way out of there. Yeah, I guess he did. This is our generator shed. We do have a pretty good sized diesel generator in here. It doesn't have a lot of hours on it. The diesel generator out here in the shed has its own fuel tank. I believe this is 10 kilowatts. We have about 2,200 hours on this generator according to the hour meter. This building could be used for storage. It's all insulated. You do have an exhaust and a vent going out, so to keep the noise of this generator down, you can close this building up and still have enough airflow for it to run properly. It does have an intake vent on the outside of the building for air to come into it. Pretty nice setup. You could, like I said, you could probably run 4 or 5 more cabins off this if you wanted to build more up here. Okay, so we've seen the camp, the shed, the generator house, the shipping container, the rest of the improvements. You saw the well over there by the sheds. Over here we've got the septic tank, and we've got access here right on the surface of the ground. These are really nice, so if you need to get them pumped out, you can do it. Then the line goes down, the leach field is down below us here off the driveway. We're gonna take a little walk in the woods, show you some of the land. This is a really large tract of land. I'm not gonna bore you to death and walk 500 acres today, but for 550 acres of land, it's real varied terrain. We're up here on a high knoll where this cabin is. We got We were hoping to show you the beautiful views of Passadumkeag Mountain Range off in the distance, but the Canadian wildfires are back again this summer, and we're not seeing a whole lot of clear skies here. The property does go down, drops into some low ground down along Rand Brook that runs through the middle of the property. That is quite a ways from the cabin. There's some trails that lead down that way. You would probably want to improve some more if you own this property. We're going to take a little look at the forest here and show you some of that. All right, we're here at the cabin. We're going to take you down a trail that's right across to the way here and show you some of the land. For those of you who've seen it this winter, you've probably already seen this trail, but if you're looking for a cabin, you probably weren't looking this winter for one. You haven't seen it, so let's go look at the forest together. Oh, we got some wild strawberries here too, folks, and I skipped breakfast early this morning, so may have to pick some of these on the way back. This trail here could be used for an ATV. Be a good hiking trail. Just down on the property here for quite a ways. And as we come through here, you're going to notice mostly younger hardwoods here. Birches, maples, beech. A little bit of poplar kicking around in here too. The soils on this lot are mostly sandy, silty loams, and they're quite rocky. You can see some of it right here. It's really good looking stuff, but there are a lot of rocks in it, so it's not great farmland. If you could clear in areas here and there, you could probably get some food plots in. This is an absolute incredible property if you're a hunter, to have 550 acres of land that you could do a lot with, put up a lot of different stand locations. A couple food plots here and there. Like I said, the soils are good once you get through all the rocks in this country, and there's areas on this land that are more rocky than others. This is a extremely rocky section right through here. All right, we're still walking down the trail and talk about the elevations here. We got about 260 feet above sea level at Rand Brook, and up at the top of Rand Hill, which is behind the cabin, we've got about 600 feet of elevation, so it's a pretty dramatic elevation change. The cabin sits in the 450 feet above sea level area on the side of the hill, facing kind of south, so you have the protection of Rand Hill behind you from the northwest wind. So if you want to use this place in the wintertime, it would be, it's a nice location. You got some passive solar if you want to hook up some solar in here. As we're walking down through, as we drop in elevation here, we're getting more of our softwood mixes. We're seeing some hemlock, some spruces, some white pine, a little bit of everything in here. As you can see, it's still quite rocky. We got some beautiful pine scattered around all over this property. But this is a pretty good trail, something that you could, like I said, take a side-by-side down. And there's a lot of trails on this property that are growing back up that could be kept open for access a good portion of the property. Hey folks, let's talk about the location here right now. We're at 1218 Upper Dobson Road in the town of Lakeville. And Lakeville's an interesting town. It's named Lakeville because of all the lakes. And we filmed a property earlier this morning. We were out there about 6 o'clock this morning. And as the crow flies, that lot's probably 1.5 miles from here. But as by the road, I think we took 10 because we had to go around so many lakes. So that's kind of, don't be in a hurry when you're in Lakeville. Lakeville's got a population of about 108 people, 104 people, I think it is actually. We're located about 8.5 miles from the town of Lee, which would be the closest town. There's a restaurant there, some groceries and gas. Lincoln's about 20 miles from this location, and if you're familiar with Lincoln or not, Lincoln's got about 5,000 population, just under. Hospital, doctor's offices, car dealers, restaurants, grocery stores, building supplies, auto parts, everything you need is right in Lincoln. Bangor, 50 miles from this location. Bangor, 70 miles from this location. And that's going to take you about 1 hour and 15 minutes from here. More than half of it's on the interstate. The city of Portland's about 200 miles, and that's about a 3-hour ride from here. And Boston's about 500 miles. It's about 300 miles. And that's a 5-hour ride from here in Lakeville. What can you do in Lakeville in this region? Well, Lakeville, like I said, is known for its lakes. We're not too far from Upper Sislodopsis. This is the Upper Dobsis Road. We're pretty close to Lower Sislodopsis and the boat landing there. Bottle Lake Stream gets you access into Junior Lake, Scraggly Lake, all the way down into West Grand Lake. So the lakes are definitely part of the draw to come here. And you can ride your ATVs in this area right around the cabin. Go a little bit further, you can jump on some major trails that'll take you for hundreds of miles in every direction. Snowmobiles as well. The Down East Lakes Community Forest, about 57,000 acres of open hunting and hiking and fishing and bird watching and whatever you want to do. That's nearby. The Down East Lakes Land Trust and several other organizations have helped conserve in this region about 300,000 acres of land protected from development. Most of it's open to the public for recreational uses. So it's a really nice spot. Most of you probably have never heard of this area because it doesn't get the traffic that Bar Harbor gets and the mid-coast of Maine and southern Maine and the western mountains where most of the crowds go. When you come over here in eastern Maine, you're going to find a lot less people, a lot more peace and quiet. So good reason to take a hard look at Lakeville, Maine. So the water feature on this property is Rand Brook that runs through the entire middle of the property. We'll show you some drone shots of that. It's a pretty good hike from the cabin to get there. A good place to paddle a canoe or a kayak. It is the headwaters of the Passadumkeag River, so you've got trout and salmon probably working their way up through this brook. Thanks for coming along on the tour. Before I wrap the video up, folks, don't forget, like and share the video and hit that subscription button down below. Put on all notifications so you won't miss the next video. Our new asking price on this property is $499,900. We've got this 400 plus square foot cabin, the generator building, the shed, the shipping container, 550 acres of varying land and open forest and meadows and streams. If you're looking for a getaway where you can expand it into maybe more than it is now, this is an ideal location. I don't think you're going to find a better priced property out there with this much acreage. Give me a call if you would like a property info packet. We'll send that to you. 800-286-6164. Thanks for watching.